Hey, this is going to be a documentation of learning to do 5 delivery Euro Truck Simulator. Um, so I'd make a thing just to keep track of how the route changes and uh, keep track of sort of what I learn as I go through. So the first thing in there is started with Amsterdam. Mostly just because that's what everyone seems to do. I've not seen any research or anything to prove that's the best way to start, but maybe that'll come down the line. And right here, the first thing that's a big cock up, I'm clicking that thing to skip parking the truck. After the first clip, I think I move away from that and put add in the menu stuff to set it to simple, so you can just drive straight into it and just press enter rather than having to click that. That was the sort of the first big change to be made. This one was still playing in ultra quality as well. I don't know if it comes across on the video, but turns out that makes a big difference on the load times, so that went away as well fairly quickly. But yeah, this thing of not setting it to simple parking is horrible, because it's super easy to miss parking on the correct spot, and just being able to drive near it and press enter seems to be a really big time save, even considering the menuing you have to do to change it. So if you see the first split be odd, or like slow compared to near the start, that's probably because I added in the menuing in that first section there, and still had the old PBs set in. So yeah, you can see me do some very bad driving in this one, and probably miss a parking spot and have to reverse for it, and yeah, not good. Yeah. So another thing to mention, I guess, with starting out trying to manual click the auto parking thing is the reason I started off doing that is because in the current version of the game, the trigger to let you park like that is always right near the gate of the depot that you're going into, whereas when you have it set to auto park, the places where you have to park now are quite a ways away from the gate sometimes, in a lot of places where they didn't used to be, so some of them are quite tricky to get to quickly, compared to just being able to stop at the gate. So that was sort of the idea of starting with it on, but yeah, I think I've already sort of come to the conclusion that that's not worth. It's better to wait for the RNG to give you places where you can park near the gate anyway, and just go in there at full speed and press enter. Also worth mentioning is I'm going to speed up all of the runs, apart from the last one of each video, just to fit the commentary, because I don't really see much point in having you watch the full length of stuff that's not like current personal best. This one was a 420, super proud, obviously. This one was the best of the session, by a long ways, between decent PBs, I think, for over about 3 hours. I got like the first one that felt sort of half decent, and then 2 that upgraded it, and each time I upgraded it, it went up by like 20 seconds or so. So there's tons more still in this to be making jumps like that. But this one was this one felt pretty good. It was we're now on the lowest graphics possible, 32-bit DirectX. I do want to try at some point and see if setting OpenGL rather than DirectX 9 will load even faster, but that made a big difference. The RNG on this one was good as well. Lots of only going just down the street to something really close. There's some bad stuff in it, obviously, like that hitting that car there, but you know, that's just more time to gain if it doesn't happen, you know. So the other big change I made on this one was, before this I had all of the DLCs enabled up to Italy, and I was noticing that a lot of the very short jobs were coming up in I think it was Toulouse and Oslo, which are actually really long compared to these Amsterdam ones, which is really weird, because they're still listed as being like the same length, but I think it must check the distance as the crow flies rather than as the road goes, and those ones were much longer, even though they were listed as the same distance. So I sort of experimented around for a bit. I tried turning all of the DLC off, which surprisingly just broke it completely, because you could only get like three jobs in a row that were from the same city to the same city, and then after that it seemed to always go to having one that made you go to a different city. So the way it's set now is that all the DLC is off, apart from the going east one, which lets you have Poland and whatnot. But yeah, the Viva la France and the Scandinavia pack were terrible for giving you jobs in Toulouse and Oslo specifically that were much longer than these ones that are in the base game. And there you go. There's a 340 just minute down from where I started at the beginning of this session. So really pleased with that. Yeah.